I was his student in the university.
Okay.
I received my spiritual name from my Guru Maharaj. He said something like, he said he met me in the university, and then so after some time I took up the practice, and he said that then her material life finished. And then at that moment, what comes in my mind is that it's all by the mercy of Guru Maharaj that I realized like I'm in a material life and there's a spiritual world. I didn't know Krishna before I met my Guru Maharaj because I was brought up in a Chinese family. I knew I was looking for something more, and then Krishna is so kind, and he sent Guru Maharaj, and he just appeared in my life, and then I started to read some Srila Prabhupada's books. I got really after I met my Guru Maharaj, because he is a scholar, and then he reads a lot, and also he writes a lot, and that really inspired me to read more, because he doesn't only teaches us by his words, but also by his action, how he really lived the philosophy. He's very humble, very gentle, and always thinking how to serve Krishna in the different, very creative ways. And besides that, he also engaged his disciples and devotees to serve Krishna in their their own capacity. So just by seeing him, you already learn a lot.
Thank you. And sorry.
What's special about him is that he's very personal. He takes care of his disciples in a very personal way. We can write emails to him, and he replied our emails so quick. It's like he's always near his computer. And then and he always show his very personal care. Sometimes we may face ups and downs in our spiritual life, and he's always very encouraging, and he really understands our situation, and tries he gives very practical guidance and advice. So I think he's so merciful that always give us his blessings, and that we can never repay him. When I face problems like material problems or spiritual problems, I feel very comfortable to talk to Guru Maharaj, because he's you feel that he's always there. He's very patient, and he's always listening, and you just feel he's like a father, always taking care, always there supporting you. So so I'm very grateful to him. I will serve him eternally if he allows me to do so.
When Krishna Kshetra Prabhu this talk, then everything is so clear, so directly and lovely, friendly, so wonderful arrangement every time, laughing and good feeling, and so that is nice to meet him again and again. When we come together on festivals, so much devotees are there. When we see us, then he is very friendly and Hari Bol Ram Gopal, so to say, and so that touched my heart. When I saw him, I'm happy. That is maybe enough for me. So when I saw someone and then I'm happy, then I feel good, and then.
Yeah, he's very knowledgeable, but he's so knowledgeable yet so simple, and that's really a wonderful combination. Usually, if you have a lot of knowledge, you have a tendency to be a little sophisticated, or even a little bit, what would you say, proud. That can also enter quite easily. But that doesn't affect him at all. And that's why he's such a wonderful Vaishnava. Well, we would talk about philosophy. I would ask him questions, and I would always give the best answers. Our friendship was very casual. It wasn't like, it was very relaxed. I didn't have to feel like I was, have to be anything but myself in his presence. He was very accommodating, very simple, very open, very humble. And so I could also feel more myself in his presence. And that I appreciated. We would take prasadam together a lot. Of course, we joined almost around the same time, back in the early 70s, year 1973, 74. But I didn't meet Krishna Kshetra Prabhu until much later, around the mid-80s. I had always heard about him as a preacher, a scholar, a person who was able to take Prabhupada's teachings into the area of academia. Our first meeting was around the 1980s, around 1985, I believe it was in New Vrindavan. So I was very happy to meet him at that time, although I had heard about him many times before then. But it wasn't until I came to Europe and started to travel and preach here regularly in the early 2000s that I actually started to develop a real relationship with him. We both were somewhat preaching in the area of the Balkans, Croatia, Slovenia, and that area, so we would meet each other quite regularly. And we became somewhat good friends, and we would talk a lot, and joke a lot. And I always was inspired by his simplicity, his humbleness, his very simple but witty sense of humor, and his great ability to see things very clearly. Although he had so many good qualifications, outstanding qualifications as an academician and a spiritual master who had many disciples, still he was always very simple, very humble, very friendly, very open. And from there, our relationship started to develop more and more, and we would talk about different things. Of course, I would always consult him if I had a question about deity worship. He was the minister of deity worship in our ISKCON society for many years. He is still authority on deity worship. As we can see now, this weekend he's speaking about the Lord in his transcendental form as Archa Vigrahar. So that was something that he was outstandingly well known for, his ability to give very clear and shastric evidence on how to worship the deity, the understanding of our relationship with the deity. And I always had an interest in that also, so I would consult him about that many times. And for me that was nice because I also see that the quality of his disciples also reflects his own quality. They are also very friendly, very simple, very have a wonderful service attitude. So I like that also. was appreciating that. Special memories? I think we used to joke a lot together. And, I remember many times we would just talk about things in a joking way. And I still do that with him. And so that shows the openness of our relationship. He doesn't feel imposed upon when I make jokes. And then because I'm the one that usually starts it and he responds. So we have a very cordial and friendly relationship.
First, it is coming to my mind, he is really gentle, and he is also very tolerant, according to his disciples. Sometimes he asks about something in a very polite way that on the first time you don't understand, but later, no, actually, ask me about it. And this is coming later, this some kind of realization, some kind of some lamp is coming in my mind.
Went and he allowed me to drive his van, and we went to Poland by this van, and I fall asleep while driving. I fall asleep, and I wake up, and he was sitting near me, and he was chanting all the time. And my question was, who was driving this van while I fall asleep? Can you imagine? I was such a strange person. I was driving him, and at that time I was falling asleep. Usually he was chanting when I fall asleep. Before he was chanting, and when I wake up, he also was chanting. Who was driving this car? It is mystery. So I know that we love each other. So everything else is just from outside. It's not essence. He was so depressed by her bad karma that he wanted to make suicide. And Guru Maharaj actually he made such arrangement that he was pulling out the soul from the clutch of her depressed mind. And for this purpose he used this technique. Who cared for this rules, godly rules? No, he you see, he loves us. He loves us so deeply. He loves everybody so deeply that once you understand this, it gives you pain.
He always takes time to think before he answers a question or before he speaks, and he's very thoughtful when he speaks, and he also speaks to different people in how to say in different way. He was giving a seminar on Sharanagati written by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. I don't remember right now where that was, but simultaneously at the same time I was doing lots of service, making flower arrangements in the temple, and I would spend lots of time doing something with my hands, like art and crafts, and I've just decided out of blue to listen to Sharanagati from Bhaktivinoda Thakur, just out of blue. and I was listening to it, and I didn't know that Guru Maharaj was giving he was giving a seminar on Sharanagati at the same time, and I wrote him an email that what a wonderful coincidence. I didn't know that you're giving a seminar on Sharanagati, and I said at that same time that week I was just listening to Sharanagati so intensely, and his answer was, "Dear Lalita Dasi, there is no coincidence." So that was the answer. Which means that Krishna makes arrangements, and that means that we are connected with our Guru, even unknowingly. And Guru Maharaj was in Belgrade, and I had the mercy to make him breakfast, and he was eating only fruit for breakfast, which means it doesn't require any culinary expertise to cook anything, or just to cut fruit, you know. So I was cutting fruit and put on the plate, and somebody would take it to Guru Maharaj's room, in the Guru room, and I was doing this one day, second day, third day, and then I was thinking, how is that I don't even see my Guru, and I cut this fruit for him, and I don't even know if he likes it. I don't even know if he really likes what fruit I chose and how I cut. I don't even know it. I was thinking I would like to know if he really likes that, you know, but he doesn't, so I can improve something. But that was the time that we didn't speak. It was only in the beginning of Krishna consciousness. And I was sitting on the stairs near to his room and thinking that. And then Guru Maharaj opened the door, and he didn't say anything. He just said, "I like it." And I was blown away.
My friend, let's take the sweets to Guru Maharaj, and maybe we can see his Chota Giriraj to get his darshan, because he's leaving next day and it's our last chance. We didn't see his Giriraj for 2 weeks while he was there. So we were coming to his little house. He was staying in quiet little house behind the barn, almost in the forest. And we went there, and as we were coming down the hill, and just before coming to the house, I thought, I hope nobody is there with him, because then we cannot get darshan, we cannot see his Giriraj, we cannot, ask. And just when we come down from the hill, all of a sudden the door opened wide, and there was Guru Maharaj standing on the doorway, smiling, and he said, "Oh, you are coming to get darshan of Giriraj." And we were speechless. He knew our plan.
You like this?
And that the Giriraj was so sweet. He was being it so finely, and his smile was just charming. And Guru Maharaj, he was so happy to show us Giriraj, because I think he praised it that day.
One of the first instructions was, in your spiritual life, the most important thing is to take care of your child. That was the first instruction. And the second instruction was, it was very serious. He was sitting on the chair somewhere on the asana, and I was sitting down, and he told me, "You should become peaceful and detached." And then I was really puffed up, thinking, "Oh, that's such a great, oh, this instruction. I need to become peaceful and detached." Yeah. And how years were passing by, I realized that's just such a high expectations, high goal that I need to work on. And first few years I didn't even understand what that means. What it means to become peaceful. To become peaceful within. So it means to become more in mode of goodness, so I can receive the knowledge and I can understand how to serve Krishna better, how to serve Guru Maharaj, how to please devotees. Because if one's heart isn't peaceful, it is very difficult to focus on service, and also to become detached means I get attached to people, and also I'm attached to Guru Maharaj, but I would be very sad, I would cry every time, even if he would come, even if I know I'm going to see him next week, or if I know I am going to see him next month. When he would leave, that, like him leaving, would create so much sadness that I would cry a lot, and like somebody's dying or something. So I didn't understand where is this feeling coming from. And every story that's in Srimad Bhagavatam, that somebody leaves, like when Krishna leaves gopis, but that's on very, very high level, high transcendental level, that gopis cry a lot because it's very painful. Obviously my attachment is not on that high level, and somehow Guru Maharaj pacified he sensed that I have that I always cry and go sad and this and that, and he would always either write to me or just tell me, don't worry, everything is okay. So he would be at the same time a guru who instructs me, and a friend, a teacher, and also a parent to a child. So that's the greatness of a guru in ISKCON.
Yes, he inspires me to learn more, and what is the most amazing is, like you said, whatever question there it is, he really answers in such a broad, deep way. For me, it's really realizations, in a sense, everything is in Shastras, because I can see through Guru Maharaj, no matter what kind of question is there, it's such a deep answer, and this is really what inspires me.
Okay.
He wants really that everything what we are doing, and especially, for example, he also likes that we have festivals, something for bridge preaching or something like that, and he's so cautious about each detail. Even though he's not into it, but from outside, when before we were started or before the program, whatever, he wants to know everything, and he immediately gives suggestions, or after he give really feedback. Really, and I like it, and he doesn't give feedback in a sense you didn't do good, but he gave us feedback in the way how we can do this next time better and better and better, and I love this from him, because, if he will say, yeah, it was nice, no, it was like we can do this and this and this and this, and I said, oh my gosh, yeah, he's right, I like this, that he's so direct, and he's, he really cares.
Actually, he acting so peacefully, and I like, this is my mood. I like peace, and he has also this mood. Whenever he's walking, there is peace. Actually, also one time came in the temple, so disturbance, everything, I don't know. And when he came, everything peace, just peace. All the devotees was happy, peacefully walking around, no passion around, really. And he's so simple. It's really, really simple. Actually, it's so simple to serve him. Nothing special. And just he likes just this soup, simple food, simple prasadam. Yes, and I'm happy. I'm very happy that I can serve him. Yesterday, I was alone with him, and really, I feeling that I can stay forever in this mood. Just I and me, I can serve him for rest. I don't know, forever. But he tell me, here is time changing.
His work and his gentleness towards every living entity. I mean, he's so gentle and thoughtful that he's very helpful to anyone. He wants to help anyone and to not to be in any distress. He thinks of, and this, I mean, it's amazing that you want to become like that. So, to look after everyone's. Yeah, I mean, he's very gentle to, no matter if you're a disciple or toward every human or any species, I would say, as you've seen with a cat also. Kindness, I mean, towards some, I would say some spiritual masters can be heavier, but in our case, this is not the case. I don't know, it's very rare, and I hope we won't forget that. How it works, what is behind, what are the reasons behind, because generally I work better and with my heart if I know what I'm doing. If I don't know what I'm doing, if I'm doing like a robot, it won't last long. So in that sense, he's very, he's my role model. So it's, or in Sanskrit words, acharya. So.
That's something Krishna, Giriraj, Guru Maharaj, they all connected. It's kind of, how to say, they're connected all. They just, if we can tune into each other, then we can make such wonderful things.